Have you ever wondered how many times today God has already saved your life without you even knowing it? The car that switched lanes just before you merged, the phone call that delayed your departure by 5 minutes, the sudden urge to take a different route home. What if I told you that God's salvation isn't just a one-time event that happened at the cross, but a daily, moment-by-moment reality that surrounds your entire existence? Today, I want to share with you a truth that will transform how you see every ordinary moment of your life. We often think of salvation as something that happened in the past when we accepted Jesus, or something that will happen in the future when we get to heaven. But the Bible reveals a God who is actively, intentionally, and lovingly saving us every single day from dangers we can't even see. Turn with me to Psalm 121, verses 7 and 8, where David writes these powerful words. "The Lord shall preserve you from all evil. He shall preserve your soul. The Lord shall preserve your going out and your coming in from this time forth, and even forevermore." Psalm 121, 7, 8. Notice that word preserve appears 3 times in just 2 verses. This isn't coincidence. This is God's emphatic declaration of His constant protection over your life. The Hebrew word for preserve here is shamar, which means to guard, to watch over, to keep safe like a shepherd watching his flock. This isn't passive protection. This is active, vigilant, intentional guardianship. God isn't sleeping on the job or distracted by the problems of the universe. He is personally, intimately involved in keeping you safe from harm you don't even know exists. Think about the context of these verses. David is writing about looking to the hills for help, acknowledging that his help comes from the Lord who made heaven and earth. He's traveled dangerous mountain passes where robbers hide behind rocks and wild animals prowl in the darkness. He knows what it means to need divine protection. And he's discovered that God's preservation isn't limited to the big, obvious threats. The phrase, "from all evil," encompasses every form of danger, every plot of the enemy, every accident waiting to happen, every disease trying to take root in your body. God's protection covers the physical dangers you can see and the spiritual attacks you cannot. It includes the car accident that almost happened, the person who almost said something that would have crushed your spirit, the opportunity that looked good but would have destroyed your future. "He shall preserve your soul" speaks to the deepest level of God's protection. Your soul is your eternal essence, your relationship with Him, your spiritual well-being. While you're worried about your physical safety, God is guarding your spiritual health. He's protecting you from bitterness when you're betrayed, from pride when you succeed, from despair when you fail. He's preserving the very core of who you are in Him. The beautiful phrase, "you're going out and you're coming in," covers every movement of your life. When you leave your house in the morning, God goes before you. When you return home at night, He has been preparing the way. Your commute, your workplace interactions, your grocery store trips, your children's school day, all of it is under His watchful eye. There is no moment when you step outside of His protective presence. But here's what will absolutely blow your mind. From this time forth, and even forevermore, God's daily salvation in your life isn't temporary. It's not dependent on your performance or your faith level on any given day. It's an eternal promise that extends beyond your life on earth into eternity. The same God who is protecting you from that reckless driver today will be preserving you in His presence forever. I wonder if you've been living with anxiety about things that are actually under God's control. Maybe you've been losing sleep over your children's safety, your job security, your health, your future. What if I told you that while you've been worrying, God has been working? While you've been fretting about what might happen, He's been preventing things from happening that you'll never even know about. This doesn't mean we live recklessly or ignore wisdom and precaution. God's preservation often works through our good judgment and careful choices, but it does mean we can rest in the assurance that our lives are held in hands that are stronger than any threat we might face. We can sleep peacefully knowing that He who watches over Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps, and He's watching over you too. Right now, as you're listening to these words, God is preserving you. Your heart is beating because He sustains it. Your next breath is a gift from His hand. The plans of those who would harm you are being thwarted. The accidents that could happen are being prevented. The spiritual attacks against your family are being deflected. You are more protected than you know, more watched over than you realize, more loved than you can imagine. When you walk out your door tomorrow morning, remember that you're not walking alone. The God who created the universe is personally invested in your safety and success. Trust His daily salvation, rest in His constant protection, and live with the confidence that comes from being preserved by the Almighty God.